There was a report yesterday from Jake Fisher, part of Mark Stein and Fisher's newsletter that comes out every so often. A couple of days in between, they'll get something for that. And yesterday, Jake Fisher reported that keeping Kevin Durant is not off the table for the Phoenix Suns. And first, I just want to, state my opinions pretty clear. Because I don't know if I've done that on this channel. I've done it on Locked On Suns, but I don't know if I've done it on this channel. And both those channels have unique viewership. Some interlap, but most of it is unique viewership on both sides. I am so pro trade Kevin Durant, it's not even funny. Because, and it's not to do anything with Kevin Durant's play. It's just if you're a team trying to figure out a future and trying to figure out what you want your team to look like in 5 years, you got to move Kevin Durant, even if you end up taking a discount on him. Keeping Durant next year, it's just not plausible. I guess you could do it, but it doesn't make any sense. Running it back with Durant and Booker next year is just asininely stupid. How and what way are you going to get better? And I continue to urge the people of this show and people in public, stop listening to dumb Twitter news aggregators who don't have them as their profile picture. Now, if you don't want to have yourself as their profile picture, that's fine. But stop acting like you know better than everyone else. If you can't put your name and face to it, that's a you problem. And I go after these accounts all the time because they're idiots. Some of these guys think it's so easy to move Beal. And it's oftentimes like, we'll move Beal, get, a bunch of good pieces back, and run it back with KD and Booker. And go get a center. Like, it's that easy. No one wants Bradley Beal. Newsflash. No one wants Bradley Beal. No one really, for any sense, wants Kevin Durant for a large sum of collection of pieces, picks, and players. They don't want that. So, I feel like I have to break it down honestly for my listeners and for people on social media and in real life when I've met a few of you guys out at the, gym or out in the open. There is no world outside of the Suns' insider trading levels of getting back a key piece and a bunch of young players for Bradley Beal. There is no plausible scenario that happens. And even more than that, there is no plausible scenario in which the Suns are championship contenders next year. The most you can hope for is that the Suns are a playoff contender next year. But I feel like I have to rip the Band-Aid off. There's no world. Zero. No world. It is over where the Suns are going to be anything more than a team, if they play their cards right, fighting for the playoffs. And so maybe you run it back next year with Kevin Durant and try to boost up his market, show that he's a 37-year-old, but still a pretty good 37-year-old, and you move him at the trade deadline. Maybe that's the route you go. But this idea at all, that you're going to run a team back next year with the core being Booker and Durant, it's just not plausible, guys. And so when I see a report that says the Suns haven't fielded any calls or started the bidding for Kevin Durant, it's like, yeah, duh. All this is posturing, in my opinion. With the Houston Rockets coming out and saying, oh, Jalen Green, that's our guy. Devin Booker, never heard of him. I want a guy that chucks 50 shots a game and plays next to no defense and shoots the ball inefficiently, I might add, instead of Devin Booker, who does most of those things pretty well, and sometimes Devin Booker can defend. And then the 76ers coming out saying, nope, no interest in Kevin Durant. There is no world right now where you should be tipping your hand if you're the Phoenix Suns. So when I see a report that says the Suns might just hold on to KD, it's like the Suns are seeing the reports and reading the tea leaves and saying, listen, if you want Kevin Durant, he's up for sale for sure. But he ain't free. So you better start raising your offers now. And so the Suns can't run it back next year. They can't. There's no world where the Suns are viable. There's no world where the Suns are a Western Conference semifinal team next year, much less a championship contender. Maybe the Suns make the playoffs, and maybe they're interesting. But there's no world where it matters more than that. And then you lose KD anyways. At the end of this year, he's on the last year of his deal. There's no world where they compete. And there's no world where they move Bradley Beal and get pieces back that actually make a difference. Now, can they trade Bradley Beal to the Wizards and get back a bunch of bad contracts? Yeah. Like instead of having one guy who makes up $55 million a year or something of that nature, you get a Chris Middleton. You get who's got a bad contract. You get a Marcus Smart who's got a bad contract. But you're not trading Bradley Beal to the Mavericks and getting PJ Washington and Derek Lively. It's ridiculous. Guys, for some of the trades that you see on social media, take it from me. I cover this team. I'm at every game. 99% of trade machines are pure garbage. If you look at a trade machine and think to yourself, well, it's not awful. It's not a bad deal. It is. It's a bad deal. Stop listening to the idiots on social media. Please, I beg of you, stop listening to the idiots on social media. See my guy Aaron in the chat saying I'll trade you Brook Lopez for Devin Booker. I'm pretty sure Brook Lopez's contract is up this year, so that couldn't even happen, buddy. How about change that from Booker to Giannis and we'll make it happen? So when I see that report, I don't freak out that the Suns haven't started shopping Kevin Durant yet. First off, they can't do anything until July 1st. Secondly, I think this is clearly the Suns saying, hey, Kevin Durant's here, but we're not taking a discount. So you better get ready to send over Jabari Smith. Or if you're the Rockets and you want to continue topping out in the first round, go for it. But if you want someone that can help take you to that next step, KD's here. He's ready to be shipped out and ready to go. You might want to add Eason and another pick. So that's where it is right now for the Suns. It's tough times for them to be where they're at. And I hate to give you tough love, but there is just no world next year where the Suns are viable championship contenders. No world. None of it makes any sense, and I feel like you have to rip off the Band-Aid now. Because there are too many people out there setting themselves up for failure, and they're going to blame Matt Ishbia instead of their dumb, unrealistic expectations. That's what they should be blaming. Not the Suns governor who's got enough on his plate right now. But there's so much misinformation on social media when it comes to the Suns, and I'm not sure what people believe and what they don't, but what I'll tell you is they're likely lying. Those dumb people on social media circulating dumb trade news. Anyways, what I would say is the Suns have to break it up. There's no shot at being championship contenders next year. But they can get themselves out of this hole if they nail a KD trade. And posturing and telling people through the grapevine that if you want KD, you better get your offers up. That's the way they should be doing business. And no other way is necessary.